Here's the thing. Millions didn't just move for cheaper houses. They moved for a life they could actually live. Time back, sanity back. Fewer surprise bills. That's the real story behind the 10 biggest exit states. We'll expose the hidden charges, rising premiums, regulatory whiplash, disaster risks that pushed longtime residents to finally say, "I'm done." Then we'll show you where they went instead, and why mid-sized, affordable, outdoor-heavy regions keep topping the inbound lists. Number 1, California. California turned life into a paywall. Premium rent, plus an annual wildfire tip baked into your insurance until your carrier quietly bounces. You're paying top dollar to refresh a loading screen. You earn more and somehow feel poorer. Commutes eat hours. Delivery charges sneak onto utility bills. Homeowners insurance doubles or disappears after a red flag week. Rolling blackouts seem manageable, right up to the missed recital. Let that sink in. Here's the catch. Net outbound keeps stacking as insurers freeze new policies and raise premiums after fire seasons. Builders stall in permit queues and environmental reviews. So supply lags and prices stay spicy. Middle earners get squeezed from both sides. People snap when time theft meets risk overload and head for Raleigh, Durham, Knoxville, Boise. Lower taxes, trails after work, actual evenings. You think that's rough? New York charges by the minute. Number 2, New York. New York sells access like a VIP pass, but the meter never stops. Rent, taxes, MetroCard refills, delivery fees stacked like Jenga. You pay to move fast, then wait on a platform while the delay announcement loops. You grind on convenience until it breaks. Subway outages, childcare that rivals a second mortgage, a tax bill that looks like your friend's full salary down south. Families bail. The state lost tens of thousands of households, with Long Island high on the move-out lists. Coastal risk pushes insurance up, while suburban property taxes squeeze starter home dreams. Remote and hybrid work cracked the spell. A 2-bedroom elsewhere beats a shoebox near a slow train. People head to Charlotte, Raleigh, Jacksonville, Nashville, and the Myrtle Beach corridor. Lower costs, more space, calmer pace. If New York drains your wallet, Illinois quietly taxes your patience. Number 3, Illinois. Illinois looks like a deal on listing day. Then the property tax bill lands and acts like a second rent. You thought you won the bid. The assessor won your budget. People stay for Chicago paychecks, but costs creep. Utilities tick up. Insurance inches higher. Commutes stall on aging roads and trains. The pension tab? It shows up in your escrow and your psyche. Let that sink in. Here's the catch. Statewide outbound ranks keep Illinois on the flea list. Cook County assessments shift, and wage bumps can't outrun fixed bills. Crime perceptions raise neighborhood premiums and push families to list faster. So they pivot to Nashville, Knoxville, Charlotte, and Dallas-Fort Worth. Lower taxes, cleaner budgets, real runway. New Jersey charges coastal vibes at luxury prices, with the bill taped to your property. Number 4, New Jersey. You pay for elite schools and a 40-minute train to Manhattan. Then the hidden fees jump out. Nation-leading property taxes, insurance creeping up, and tolls that feel like a cover charge to re-enter your own life. Remote work breaks the spell. If you're logging into Zoom, why bankroll the premium? Add flood zones that require extra coverage, car insurance that bites, and you're stuck with a subscription bundle you barely use. Here's the catch. Outbound rankings keep New Jersey on the move-out radar. Property tax bills on a modest home rival a luxury car payment. Monthly commuter rail passes drain the budget. Families run the numbers and see that mortgage plus tax in Raleigh or Greenville buys a yard, a garage, and time. The snap point? Paying Manhattan-adjacent rates without Manhattan usage. So they reset in Raleigh, Charlotte, or Greenville-Spartanburg. City access, lower taxes, and no toll booth lifestyle. Now swing south. Louisiana's risk premium isn't theoretical. It's due annually. Number 5, Louisiana. Louisiana's soul is elite. The bills are not. The homeowner's insurance line keeps climbing like it's chasing your mortgage, and the number of carriers keeps shrinking. You pay more to be told, try the state plan. Let that sink in. Here's the catch. Back-to-back hurricane losses torched balance sheets. So private insurers raised rates or exited. People get pushed to Louisiana Citizens, the last resort plan with higher premiums and tighter coverage. FEMA's updated flood maps and NFIP risk rating 2.0 shove more homes into pricier tiers. Rebuild costs jumped. Even renters eat it as landlords pass along premiums and fees. Daily life turns into contingency planning. More heat and flood days. Small businesses face the same squeeze. The exit moment hits when risk feels uninsurable. They reset in Chattanooga, Nashville, or Huntsville. Lower risk, solid jobs, actual weekends. West Virginia looks cheap, then reveals a different toll. Limited opportunity. Number 6. West Virginia. West Virginia looks cheap on paper. The catch is the bill you pay in options. The wage ceiling sits low, job variety stays thin, and the ladder feels missing a few rungs. The outflow is real. Families leaving by the thousands. Rural hospital closures and long drives to specialists turn a routine checkup into a half-day plan. Roads add friction to simple errands. You might live 20 minutes from town, but it's 45 when a 2-lane backs up behind a coal truck. Housing is affordable. Wages and access aren't keeping pace. So people tap out. They follow paychecks and services to the Carolinas, Tennessee, and Ohio River metros like Cincinnati and Columbus. The pivot lands them in Knoxville, Raleigh, or Greenville. Mountains, trails, and careers in one package. Michigan's story sneaks up differently. Number 7. Michigan. Homes look reasonable, but here's the catch. Winter hands you a bill with interest. Heating spikes, tires shredded by potholes, cracked windshields, and days lost to lake-effect snow. It's like living in a glorified snow globe that charges a cover. Then the stack gets heavier. Auto insurance ranks near the top nationally, even after reforms. Some cities add municipal income taxes. Industries keep shifting, so raises don't always keep up with the drag. Remote workers ask a fair question. Why shovel half the year when patios open in March somewhere else? Outmigration shows it. Legacy metros lose families to Tennessee and the Carolinas, with Raleigh and Knoxville pulling steady. Retirees follow the sun and lower risk. The breaking point is paying to fight weather and insurers while wages stall. People pivot to Chattanooga, Raleigh, or the Myrtle Beach corridor. Milder winters, outdoor life, growing sectors. Pennsylvania looks stable, but the drip cost gets old. Number 8, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania doesn't trend, but the leak is steady. It's the 1,000 tiny cuts, fees on fees, and a commute that snaps back to dial up the minute a detour hits. You feel it most in counties where the property tax jump shows up like a surprise car payment. But here's the catch. Older homes eat weekends. Roof, boiler, wiring. There's always a next thing. Transit gaps force car dependence, so every errand burns gas and time. Insurance ticks up, and the gray to slush weather doesn't sell anyone on staying. Outbound shows up around Philly and Pittsburgh suburbs, where families chase newer builds and easier drives. Migration data points south, drawn by job hubs in Raleigh and Charlotte, and steady pull in the Carolinas and Tennessee. The trigger wasn't one bill, it was grind. Nevada was supposed to be the tax haven. Then desert costs arrived. Number 9, Nevada. No state income tax feels like a cheat code. But here's the catch. The housing run-up hit hard, insurance climbed, and water scarcity turned into rules and fees. The cheap desert pitch aged fast. Las Vegas boomed. Then HOA dues, assessments, and demand baked into prices. Triple-digit streaks hammer utility bills. AC becomes a second rent. Stucco bakes, seals crack, and premiums don't flinch. Remote workers run the math and realize Spokane or Boise is cheaper, with shade. Let that sink in. Post-pandemic, some cohorts flipped from inbound to outbound as costs rose. Fewer moves into Nevada, more toward Spokane, Boise, and Texas hubs like DFW and San Antonio. Utility spikes track heat waves, and insurer tightening adds drag. People leave when the tax savings get erased. They land in Spokane, Boise, DFW, space to breathe. And then there's Wyoming. Tiny taxes, giant distances. Number 10, Wyoming. Taxes are tiny, skies are huge. But here's the catch. Access is scarce. Medical, retail, flights, everything feels one town over and 2 hours away. After a storm, even groceries can turn into a road trip. Remote living turns into real costs. Long drives aren't a vibe when it's dialysis or a pediatric specialist. Resort-adjacent counties spike housing. Near Jackson, median home price feels like a luxury flex on a middle-income paycheck. Winter shuts down plans, business, and roads, again and again. Population churn tells the story. Some move in for low taxes and the outdoors. Others tap out for convenience. Routine travel costs stack up. Families wanting on-demand activities pivot toward Boise, Spokane, or the Front Range. The exit moment? Freedom meant 4 hours to a specialist. Next, the playbook.